Are you a homeowner in Sienna and want to know what's happening in the real estate market? I'm going to let you know right here on this episode of Ryan and Real Estate. All right, Sienna homeowners, we are now in mid-June, so it's time for your June 2024 real estate market update. Try to do these each month. This is gonna look at, compare May 2024 to May 2023. All the homes have closed out now in May 2024, and kind of show you what's happening in the market. I've got some good news and I've got some bad news, and I've got some bonus little stats to help you kind of understand the market a little bit better, but let's jump right into it. All right, first thing, average days to sell. How long does it take a home to sell in Sienna? And I'm not counting new construction, because again, those sometimes take a lot of time just because you're building it. The average days to sell for a resale home in Sienna is 38. That's actually up 46%, meaning it's taking almost double the amount of time to sell your home as it did last May. Now, we're gonna see this change and probably increase because we're getting out of the heat of the season, at the peak of the season. We should see that change and even go up a little bit further, but I'll show you some stats on that so you can kind of have a better idea as well. Average sales price, it is $612, $647. And that is actually down just 2%. And again, I don't want that to scare you. That's not a bad news thing yet. That's just May to May. The number we really want to look at is 2023 to 2024. And we obviously won't know how the rest of 2024 plays out until it's over. So we'll of course get you that number January of 2025. But as of right now, it's down 5.2%. But last month from the April to April, it was actually up, I think 3 or 4%. So I'd say they're holding pretty strong. All right, now let's jump into how many homes were sold in May. There were 72 homes in Sienna sold in May. That's actually down 3.2%. We're seeing, and that's May to May, we are seeing less homes being sold comparatively this year than last year up to this point. That is probably effective, or it has the effect from the interest rates, and I will jump into that in a little bit, but that's where we're at. How many homes are on the market is actually the biggest news. Is there's 239, which is up 52%, literally double the amount of homes that we had on the market this time last year is on the market. We have double the amount today. And that brings us into, so what does that mean for us? It means if you're a buyer, you got a lot more options. You got double the amount of options to look at. If you are a seller, that means there's more competition out there, more homes that are on the market, more options for buyers to pick from, and that means they don't have to just automatically pick yours, which means that's why the days on the market are going up a little bit, is because of that reason. So the great news is that home prices are still holding. There's no, and we don't forecast, I know there's a lot of Debbie Downers, gloom and doom, whatever. There's no one that I have really talked to that is in the real estate market and the experts that I listen to that would say home prices are gonna have this magic drop or we're gonna have a bubble or anything like that. I do not think that will happen. One being is just, again, there's so much equity in the homes and people, don't wanna leave a 3% interest rate, but if they got in this position where they had to sell, they've got enough equity they would be able to do that and not have to foreclose. So that's why we don't think foreclosures are always a sign that prices would come down. If you have a heavy amount of foreclosures, don't see that happening. So the good news is if you're looking to buy, you've got a lot more options and that prices are holding. The bad news is that interest rates still have literally not done anything since the last time we talked. At the beginning of the year, the Feds had announced that they were planning on dropping rates, doing 5 cuts, I think. We've had 0 cuts, maybe supposed to get 2, but that's going to be the biggest factor of when we have more transactions, and that means it's going to increase all of those selling numbers that we want. Higher prices, shorter days on market. Buyers may not want that, but if you're a homeowner in Sienna, you want those interest rates to drop as well. I don't think we're ever going to see 3% interest rates probably in our lifetime, in my lifetime. I think probably we're gonna be landing in the 4 to 5%. That would be probably a good safe spot from what I've heard. I do know if we get below 6%, there's a huge buyer demand that's ready to enter the market that's not here right now because of that simple fact. So that's the good news. The good news is that prices are holding. Bad news, rates still no change. Don't think we're gonna see a change by next month either, but we will see. Now, let me give you some bonus information on the neighborhood and just give you some graphs so you can see. If we look at the average days on market, you can see the great news for this is if you look, this is a 7-day moving average and a 90-day moving average, is that since pre-COVID, which it was on, look at that, it was almost 120 days, we've dropped significantly and pretty much stayed there. Whereas you look at some of the other statistics that I'll show you here, for instance, properties with a price decrease. This has always kind of followed the same pattern year after year after year. You have very low amount of decreases through May, June, and then it starts to work its way up all the way to the spring of the following year. Doesn't mean it's a bad time to sell right now. That just means that there's more homes that are going to be dropping their price because they're not getting sold. That's following the same pattern it always has. If we look at price per square foot, same thing, is that we had a much lower price per square foot prior to COVID, and then it shot through the roof. No one wanted to leave their homes, and so there's very few homes on the market, made prices go through the roof. Then everybody wanted to move. And so we love that as real estate agents, but that increased the prices. That's why we had the average home in Sienna has appreciated 30% since COVID, but it's holding. The price per square foot is holding. As we talked about, home prices are holding, price per square foot is holding. If you want a custom valuation of what your home is, what your price per square foot is, feel free to reach out, and we'll be glad to help any way we can. And the last stat is just inventory, as we talked about, just to show you kind of perspective, just even from October 2019, you can see that there was a lot of inventory in 2019, and then it dropped significantly all the way up till, as you can see on this graph, May of 2022. That is when the Feds decided to start increasing the prime rate, which then increased interest rates, and then more inventory started to stay on the market because less buyers were in the market. But we are now actually starting to get back to almost there, not there, pre-COVID levels amount of inventory. That, as I mentioned before, that's great news for buyers who want more options. For sellers, it just means you're gonna have more competition. There is the update, nothing else new. New construction is still building. I think they've got another 5,000 more homes to go, and they're gonna keep doing it. The zoning is locked in for now. If you have questions about that, let us know. Lots of retail space is coming into Sienna. We're getting a lot of restaurants and shopping, and very, very excited about that. And again, if there's anything we can do here at the Adams Group, we would love to help you in any way that we can. Hope you're having a great summer, staying out of the heat, staying cool. We'll see you next time.